Two of your most important tools in reading energy are kinesthetic sensitivity and empathic resonance. And what we're going to talk about now is empathic resonance. We're going to talk about what it is, and how it works, and how to refine your accuracy. So first, to just understand what empathy is. Empathy is when you can identify or relate with somebody else. You can understand what they're feeling, but you can understand it so well because you can find that feeling in yourself. You know that feeling. You're very attuned to that feeling, and you can feel how the other person feels. It's that version of understanding. And the reason why you want to refine this sense is because the word feeling is used in so many different ways that you want to be able to identify this feeling that I'm having is not my own emotion, it's actually empathic resonance. Or this feeling that I'm feeling is a kinesthetic sensitivity. I'm experiencing a sensation in my body. That's kinesthetic sensitivity. Feeling a feeling in your body that's coming from someone else, that's empathic resonance. And how it works is just the way two violins can resonate with each other. If you take two violins and you tune them so that they're in exactly the same tuning, when you pluck the string on the one violin, the air waves, the sound waves go through the air, hit the string on the other violin and get it to vibrate also. It's that attunement, because the two violins are exactly in tune with each other, that you can get the sound wave moving through and causing the other violin string to resonate along. And that's what's happening to us in empathic resonance. That's what's happening to us in empathic resonance. The person is experiencing a feeling, and that goes through the etheric waves in the same way as sound waves go through the air. There's such things as etheric waves that come through the ether, and the etheric waves hits onto us, and we start to resonate and vibrate and feel the same way. And just like with the violin, we also need to have an in-tuneness, and we call that attunement. And that's what we do when we work with someone, especially when we work with someone remotely. We attune to them so that we can hear them through the ether. And when we can hear them through the ether, we can get affected by empathic resonance. So we can start picking up what the other person is feeling. I had an experience of this so strong yesterday that I was actually throwing up after the person's session because she had had a concussion. And one of the aspects of concussion is that you can experience this nausea. And there I was trying to throw up after the session, and I went, whoa, talk about empathic resonance. And that brings me to another point. As an Alexander teacher, I wasn't worried about protection. Through my Alexander technique and ensuring that the direction was going from me to the client, there weren't any waves coming up back into me. And so my protection practice was to be in Alexander technique, to be able to inhibit well, to be well grounded, well present to myself, ensuring that the flow and the tide were going in the right direction. I found that with the energetic work on the remote, doing the remote work, I'm much more in need of protection than I used to be. And that is something that we want to look at separately. How do you protect yourself when you are working remotely with people? It is an important ritual. It's an important consciousness because, as I say, this empathic resonance can really come such a strong wave. I've never had such a strong wave of empathic resonance where I'm actually getting a symptom like the client would have had in the condition. So that's really, really an important point. When I'm feeling in need of protection in a remote session, I do light a candle, and I do wear, like right now you can see I'm wearing the kunzite because the kunzite will protect me somewhat, but it's not a full shield. If you want a full shield, you are going to need to wear peridot. If you wear the peridot though, you won't get such a refined accuracy with the empathic resonance. You do have to weigh up. Do you want to feel clearly what the person's experiencing, or do you just want a whiff or a hint of it? And I do always recommend just go for the whiff or the hint of it, because, if you see a pile of brown goop on the ground and you get close and it smells like shit, you don't have to taste it to prove that to yourself. All you need is the whiff. That's enough of an experience. And that's how it can be with empathic resonance. You do not want to immerse yourself in that kind of dynamic. Not a good idea for obvious reasons. Let's have a look and see what the notes say. So to prevent yourself from being overwhelmed by empathic resonance, now that I had that experience yesterday, I'm going to look into this more deeply, and we'll definitely have more tips in the future for you. But certainly you want to do protective ritual and feel protected while you're working. And then after you finish working, you do have to clear yourself. And that's another thing that I've noticed with the remote work. I have to take a 15-minute break between appointments. When I was working in person, I did not need to take a break. I could just go out, wash my hands, come back in, and continue with the next person. Now that I'm doing remote work, and only remote work because of the pandemic, I need to take a full 15-minute break. I need to go out of the room that I've been in so that I remove myself physically from the space. I need to go, I like to go to the bathroom and wash my hands and wash them quite thoroughly. Then I like to come back and go to the computer and just move my mind away. I need to go into a different vibrational frequency from the vibrational frequency I've been in with the client. I've been attuned to that client. I need to come back to being myself. One of the things I do to ground myself is I check certain things that are going on. I might look at the news, I might look at the stock market, I might check my email, but I do like to ground myself. I might look in my appointment book, see what other appointments are going on. Whatever is grounding for you. For example, I know that Neil finds reading very grounding. So whenever he takes a break, he likes to read as well. That thing that returns you to yourself, that's the thing you want to do to get back to your vibrational frequency, your personal vibrational frequency. That's the one that will clear the attunement to the client and get you ready for your next client. And then you begin the process of protection and attunement again. So very, very important to be aware of that and to support yourself in that process of acquiring a more and more refined accuracy with empathic resonance. Let's see what else I need to say here. This is important. So when you're picking up unconscious information, because you do pick up unconscious information with empathic resonance, it is much better to ask a question than to make a statement. For example, you wouldn't want to say, I'm picking up that you're actually really depressed. Not a great thing to say to your client. However, if you say, could I be picking up some depression here? Do you think that you may have been somewhat depressed? And oh my goodness, I have been so depressed. That's the answer you want. Not, oh no, I don't do depression. Because when you tell people, then they come across differently from when you ask people. And the way that you tell them is very different from the way that you ask someone the question. You want to give people the chance to get used to themselves. This is a problem. Not many people are actually comfortable with themselves, and they wouldn't be having appointments with you if they were comfortable and were feeling good. They'd be out having fun. But in order to get to the place that they want to be, there's some self-confronting that needs to be done, and there's some processing that needs to be done, and you need to allow some space for them to do that. Nothing has to be right that minute. You can throw out some suggestions, say, I seem to be picking this up. I'm not sure. I can never tell exactly, is this me or is this you? It's something to think about. And sometimes people say, that's exactly it, straight away. And other times they need to remain with their denial And you want to allow that. You don't want to push up against the very real and very necessary defense mechanism of denial. But let's see, in closing, what I want to say. Right, so in empathic resonance, we get the communication of emotions, feelings, experiences, mood, pain, and unconscious material. That's what you'll pick up via empathic resonance. And then you want to contrast that with mental telepathy. In mental telepathy, what you get is the transmission and reception of conscious thoughts and ideas. Well, that's the big difference between those two. And this is not that easy to distinguish. As you're sitting there picking up information, it is not that easy to distinguish between kinesthetic information, empathic resonance information, and mental telepathy information. They blend together, they work together, they're all layers of that same transmission of information via the ether, but they are different categories, and the better you can delineate them and understand them differently and their mechanisms differently, the better you can re-synergize them to make one seamless whole that delivers an energy reading. So you take it apart, that's the deconstruction, then you got to put it back together again, that's the synergy, and that's what makes it all work. How wonderful is that?